Nothing good ever comes when people care more about our differences than the things that we have in common. Something we're also not taught is that our brain has one basic function, and that is our survival. So our brain is actually programmed to constantly be on the lookout for things that might harm us, that might cause depression or sadness inside of us, that might be risky. And all of this constant seeking out for danger and drama and disappointment boosts something called cortisol in our brains. Excessive levels of cortisol lead to disease, depression, divorce, and all other manner of negative feeling things in our lives. And cortisol is basically something that makes us feel that gross negativity inside. It makes us feel low energy, and so we're constantly looking for things to boost our energy and to level out the cortisol. And that's things like exercise, that's things like eating well, going on adventures, traveling, things that excite us. But there are some sneaky other things that boost these chemicals in our brain that are a lot easier than getting to the gym. So first, the idea of knowing something about someone else gives our brains a nice hit of dopamine. Dopamine's the feel-good neurotransmitter that cancels cortisol out. And next, when we are sharing a secret about someone, it gives our brain a nice hit of oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical that essentially helps to create social trust. And that little shot of superiority we get when we're talking someone else down, that gives us a nice little hit of serotonin. Serotonin's the good feeling stuff. It's the stuff that people take illegal drugs to boost, only then to feel depressed and hungover and negative for days after, and then they take antidepressants, which basically just boost your serotonin again. So quantum physics actually states that there is ultimately no separation on a subatomic level as human beings and everything that exists around us. So this basically means that every single thing on this planet is connected by little strings of energy. So this explains things like law of attraction. It explains knowing that your loved one is not okay, even if they're on the other side of the world. It explains thinking of a friend and then they call you a second later. We've all had a similar experience and we can all relate to something on that level. So with that in mind, why would we speak unkindly of each other so often? So if we are constantly speaking unkindly of each other, even if they never actually physically hear you, they'll feel it. You're creating an environment of negativity. And that is going to be felt not just by those around you, not just by the person that maybe it's aimed at, but it's going to be felt within you. You're constantly going to be creating more negative thoughts, negative opinions inside yourself. And the more you speak it out, the more you create a belief system in the people in your experience that A, you talk negatively a lot, you talk about each other a lot, and perhaps you're just distracting from what's really going on. And you might also be creating a belief system in these other people about someone who you don't actually really know, really understand, or know what they're going through. They might have simply just triggered your emotions in some kind of way. And so it's easier to go down the road of bitching and gossiping and complaining about that person to make yourself feel better about staying in place. And this is totally acceptable in our society. It is more socially acceptable to complain and gossip about other people and to tear them down in conversations with our peers than it is to actually talk about the positives in someone. Or perhaps if someone does trigger you or upset you in some way, rather than tearing them down for making you feel uncomfortable, we don't actually choose to step in to ourselves and figure out why it's brought up that emotion within us. It's easier to blame and to shame and to create this group against them kind of situation rather than actually doing the real work. And it's not really our fault. So we're systematically taught that if a person, a group, or a situation has made us feel that discomfort, that has triggered us in some way, that we're supposed to blame them. We're not taught that our triggers are there to teach us, that if we are uncomfortable, it's because there is something that we need to work on and to grow. We are not taught that our emotions are our guidance system. We are not given the tools, and so we just do what's easy. And that's why the media focuses on gossip, drama, pain, destruction, because it's good for business, because we're all addicted to hearing about how other people aren't doing well to make ourselves feel better. And that is a chemical reaction in our brain. We have group conversations about how someone else is failing, but it's simply just distracting from how we ourselves are failing and just ignoring. And yeah, it gives you that good hit of serotonin. It makes you feel socially accepted in the group in that moment. But did you ever think that because we're all unknowingly addicted to this boost in our brains, that if you leave the room and you have inadvertently done something to trigger one of those people, do you not think that they would just jump straight to talking in that way about you? The more we create this in our society, the more it's going to spread. We think that one person can't affect the outcome, but we've seen it a million times before. We just don't realize that we ourselves can be that powerful. We don't want to accept that. And even worse, a lot of people don't even care. They don't care whether someone else has a good day, as long as they have an all right day. There is no care or responsibility for each other, and it's always a choice. It's a choice whether you speak kindly of someone else, especially someone who's triggered you. And if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe don't say anything at all. Go for a run, go watch a movie, go do something else to get yourself out of that negative space that you've been sucked into because of something someone said, something someone else has done, or how someone has acted that doesn't make you feel good. Words and ideas can and will change the world. So what words and ideas are you going to put out there into your world today? What will you depart? Will you choose to be kind, caring, honest and understanding? Or will you choose to complain, bitch, gossip, and momentarily make yourself feel better about this enlightenment that you are ignoring? Would you rather be someone who speaks kindly to and of others? Or would you rather just fit in, follow the crowd, a crowd of dopamine addicted people who are just seeking destruction to make themselves feel better? Every day you will either have a positive or a negative effect on every single person that you come across. And they in turn will have a similar effect on every person that they come across, and so it goes. So what kind of world do you want to be living in? Because you affect the outcome every single day.